Hi there, my name's Cameron MacDonald and welcome to Whisky Without the Guff, episode 7. In this episode we're going to talk about Glengoyne. Glengoyne's a lovely wee distillery just on the southeast of Loch Lomond. It's got mountains in the background, nice grassy flatlands, highland cattle and stuff. These nice wee pagoda roofs that you see in distilleries, and you know, the whitewashed walls and everything. So it's a lovely, lovely setting. I've never been in it, but walked past it, driven past it a few times. In fact, if you go on the West Highland Way, which Scotland is, as I think I said once, is full of hiking trails and mountain biking trails and things. And one of them is the West Highland Way, which goes from the northwest of Glasgow up to Fort William, about 96 miles. Well worth a trip. It'll take you about 5 or 6 days. Anyway, the West Highland Way, this is one of those examples of how not to try and pronounce phonetically Scottish names. It starts the northwest of Glasgow in a place that's written M-I-L-I-N-G-A-V-I-E. M-I-L-I-N-G-A-V-I-E. Now, if you try and pronounce that, you probably come up with Millingavi or some variant thereof. It's actually said as Mulgai. Now, you'd never ever get there. So again, a reminder: if you're in Scotland and you're touring around and you see one of these weird sort of Celtic Gaelic names on a whiskey bottle or something, ask somebody how it's pronounced. Don't just try it, because you know there's a 80% chance you'll screw it up. In any event, I've never tasted any of Glengoyne's products, so this will be quite an education, and we'll get going shortly. So good evening and welcome to the body, the main part of episode 7. I have here Colleen, who you'll recall from a previous episode, and Steve, ditto. So tonight we're tasting Glengoyne, and we're going up the ladder through the 10, 12, 15 and 18 year olds, and we'll see what we think of Glengoyne. I don't think anybody here has ever tasted a Glengoyne, so this will be our first sniff, as it were. So I guess you could start with anyone you like, but this one smells a wee bit like a Glenmorangie 10 to me. It's got a little more bite in the smell.
It does taste. It tastes like a Glenmorangie too.
Oh, you tasted it?
Yes, I tasted it.
Well, I think I prefer the taste of the Glenmorangie 10.
Yes, it's a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
sort
that
of,
has a bit of a bite.
yeah, it's kind of, it's not rough, but it tastes a bit of, like it hasn't been in the barrel long enough. Something like that.
Simple, huh?
Okay, try the 12. Yeah, that's a smoother smell.
Much smoother.
Not quite floral, but this is getting closer to something like an Auchentoshan for a.
This is smoother.
It's got a bit of a bite too, though.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah.
It's not as smooth as the Glenmorangie 12.
Okay. Go with 15-year-old.
Okay.
Now we're getting grown up.
Oh, well, that has a nice, much better
It's much.
smell to her.
It's-
It's a cleaner smell.
Well, I think it's a little subtler than the
Yeah,
previous.
it's almost floral.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. promising.
You know, I'd say that's equivalent to Glenmorangie 12.
Yeah, that one's that's acceptable. He says that as if the other two aren't, but no, that was quite pleasant, that one. The other two I wouldn't rate as pleasant.
No,
They're not unpleasant,
Yeah,
but they're
no,
not.
they're just, yeah.
they're just a little harsh.
I'd call them every day.
This is a nice smell too.
That
This is
has a
different.
nice smell, yeah.
This is a lot more sophisticated. Just kind of what you'd expect. This is an 18-year-old. But they all look, colour is about the same and all.
Oh, that's nice. So of course this is my favorite.
Need to taste this one.
Yeah, I want to taste number 2 again.
Oh, what was that, the 15-year-old?
No, it's
The 3, is that 15, did you say?
yeah.
Yeah,
No, 3 is 15, 4 is 18,
18, yeah, okay.
2 is 12.
Of course, everyone realizes we're drinking scotch and it's 100+ degrees outside in Las Vegas, but
Of course.
Nobody knew we were in Las Vegas.
until
That
now.
was a secret.
So now,
Yeah,
so
we
now
can
you all
edit
know
that
there's an underground whiskey den in Las Vegas.
This is a little more, the 15 is a little bolder than the 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
that-
bad either.
Yeah, I kind of know what I think. Do you guys know what you think of these? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's your favourite, Colleen?
Well, the 18 is the smoothest, but I do like this 15-year-old. That it kind of grew on me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you like it better than the 18 or?
probably not, but I could certainly drink that though.
I find quite close. They're different.
Yeah,
They're
they're
different,
different.
but
I
they're-
think the 18 is more sophisticated. It's a different
Just-
taste, but
Yeah.
And
but
it
the
has a
15 is
different-
good.
It has a different smell too. The 18.
Mm-hmm. If you were to rate them in terms of, you know, okay, good,
Mm-hmm.
very good, excellent, where would you be on that?
Well, I would say this is very good.
Yes.
And this is moving in that direction,
Mm-hmm.
personally.
What do you think of the 12 and the 10?
Well, I think for everyday scotch, I mean, they're comparable to a lot of 10-year-old scotches and 12-year-olds. You can get in various places.
What do you think?
I don't think anybody'd pour it out.
Well,
Yeah, unless
let's
you're
not get carried away here.
unless you're used to like a $200-$300, $500 bottles.
Even
No,
if you
yeah,
were
yeah.
any port in a store.
But yes, right. No.
Any importance.
What
No,
do
I
you
wouldn't.
think, Colleen?
Well, I'm partial to the 18-year-old. Actually, though, I like scotch that is just a hint sweeter. This had, to me, no sweetness at all. And and maybe it's because I like them when they're in a rum or a sherry cast. And I don't know what these were cast in.
Probably whiskey barrels, I'm guessing.
Don't know, might tell you in a bottle.
Okay?
How did you think, what do you think of the 10 and the 12?
12 was obviously better than the 10, yeah.
Do you think the 10 is...
Not, but I didn't really notice that much difference though between the two, to be honest.
Do you think the 10 is good or okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I think too.
Got a more bite.
Mm-hmm.
What about the 12?
Oh, it's
Is the 12
Try it again.
okay or good?
better.
It's tasting better now. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Maybe it opened up a little bit in the glass. This, the 10 is a little rough. But it's still drinkable.
Yeah, I think the 10 is okay. The 12 is good. The 3, not the 3, the 15 and the 18 are,
They're different.
yeah, I would put them at high end good, low end very good.
Very good, yeah.
You guys agree with that, or is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
How
I would
come-
agree with that.
How come I've drank more of mine than you guys have?
Well, we're trying to be,
It's not like somebody's going to come along later and drink it.
Yeah, right.
oh, I thought the people who watch.
The people that
His audience, huh?
they didn't
Yes.
even, they don't know where we are.
Oh, they do now.
But Las Vegas is a big place.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you can be edited out.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Here we are in,
But
So, no, that was it.
one
I mean,
thing
that
good
was-
about this is it's not as pretentious as wine. People, I mean, I really have
Oh,
a hard
yeah.
time. I think I've given up on wine because it's just
Well,
not worth it.
you wouldn't get pretentious when I'm involved
I know.
anyway.
I think it says it wrong right out here.
Oh, it says it there now.
Oh, yes, that's back there too.
Because the camera angle cuts off most
Oh,
of
it
the-
does.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Oh, is my head in the way of the sign here now?
Doesn't
Or?
matter.
Okay.
All of the episodes
We'll
show
see.
you this
Okay.
way. So.
Okay.
But that was
Excellent.
quite good, although
Yeah.
I wouldn't race to Glengoyne,
Mm-mm.
you know. One of the things I'd like to do in Scotland, if I go to one of the whiskey pubs in Glasgow, is that they've got a 21-year-old as well. I'd like
This?
to try
Same,
that.
Oh.
same one. Yeah.
Presumably that's
Yeah.
a little different and more complex than the 18.
So is this, what area is this? This is not a highland or a lowland? Or,
I think it's lowland,
yeah.
but it's borderline highlands. It's kind of, if you go up the east coast of Loch Lomond, this is somewhere between Mulgai and the bottom of Loch Lomond. You walk right past it if you're on the West Highland Way.
You know, one thing I might mention is none of these had a smoky flavor to it.
No,
No.
no.
Like a lot of the scotches do.
Actually, that's
So-
a good point. One thing I didn't mention is that they mention themselves that they don't use peat, so
Oh,
they're,
okay.
they're not firing things with peat. They're not drying things with peat. They're staying away from peat,
Okay.
so they're not peaty at all. Anything else?
Not for me.
To Scotch.
Well, let's go drinking. Thank you
Cheers.
very much. So in summary, the Glengoyne range, certainly the first two, the 10 and the 12, don't offer very much. The 15 and the 18, much more promising. If you add money now into the equation, right now the 10 is selling for $40. That's exactly the same, by the way, as a Glenmorangie 10. The 12 is selling for $60. The 15 for $95. Now that takes you into Ardbeg, Corryvreckan. It's more expensive than Corryvreckan, just a little cheaper than Ugadal. And the 18 is $135. So from a buying point of view, I wouldn't buy that, and I wouldn't buy that, and now you get to the 15. At 95, I would much rather have a Corryvreckan. I mean, it's quite a big gap. Ditto Ugadal. Now, as a result of this tasting, I'm going to move my Ugadal up to excellent, because these two are very good whiskies, but they're not a patch on the Ardbegs. Now you could argue that those guys are very peaty and these aren't, but whatever. To my taste, different. For $135, there isn't enough difference between, reminds me of the Glendronach, not enough difference between the 15 and the 18 to pay that kind of money. So the buy, if you're going to make a buy, would be that one. But then you'd have to compare it with others, so I'd be reluctant. So again, thank you very much for listening. Please give us a like and a subscribe. If you have any comments, and I'd love to hear about them, especially if you're a Glengoyne fan. From a homework point of view, I would just go into your local pub, especially if you found yourself a whiskey pub, and get a flight of a couple of these, or try a couple. I think if you were to try the 10 and the 15, I think you'll get the message. Or if you really want to expose yourself to a little more hardship, go with a 12 as well. So in the meantime, get out and drink, and I'll see you next time. Next time we're going to look at bar pours, because we've been tasting things like Glendronach and Ardbeg and stuff, but if you go into a bar in, say, an airport or something, or even most pubs, standard pubs, they'll have some standard whiskies, and we're going to take a look at 4 of them and just see what they offer and which one is the best, and hopefully that will be good. If you'd like to see a little bit more of the Glengoyne distillery, go onto Netflix, go to a Scottish comedy show series called Still Game, G-A-M-E, and go to series 5, episode 2. And a large part of that features the antics in the Glengoyne distillery.